Welcome to the studios of WCMU Public Media. This time a first-round matchup between Brethren and Pentwater. That's coming up next. Hello again, everyone. I'm David Nicholas, and welcome to Quiz Central. This time, students from Brethren are taking on the team from Pentwater in this 16-team single elimination tournament. Top teams from Quiz Central will qualify for the NAQT High School National Championship Tournament. Let's get to our game today. Our first round is the Maroon and Gold Rush. Teams will have 2 minutes to answer as many toss-up questions as they can. If a team answers incorrectly, the opposing school has an opportunity to answer that question. Teams may not consult during this round. Players will receive a 1-second penalty if they ring in before a toss-up question has been read completely. We'll indicate that with an orange light above their name. Answers are worth 10 points apiece, and there is no deduction for incorrect answers. If our teams and our players are all ready, here comes your first question. What scientist gave the title System of the World to Book 3 of his Principia, which earlier lists the law of inertia as one of his laws of motion?
Newton?
That is correct. Foster child Liesel Memminger finds solace in literature in Nazi Germany in what 2005 novel by Markus Zusak?
The Book Thief?
It'll ring in early.
That wasn't. The Book Thief?
That is correct. What artist who made many paintings of Helga Tesdorf showed a disabled girl in pink on the ground looking towards a house in Christina's World? Next question. What location on Isla Nublar, visited by Ellie Sattler and Alan Grant, is where scientists use DNA extracted from amber to resurrect dinosaurs?
Jurassic World.
And for the ruling from the judge, incorrect on that. We go to a toss-up. We offer that over to Pentwater for a guess, if you have one. Next question then. For 51 years, Robert C. Byrd was a senator from what U.S. state whose other senators have included Joe Manchin?
Texas.
Incorrect. Pentwater with a guess? Move on to the next question. What novel whose section recalled to life follows Dr. Manet's? Get to the end of that round. We didn't get that question in. Let's go back over the ones that stumped both of our teams today. The novel whose section recalled to life, we were looking for A Tale of Two Cities by Dickens. The artist who made the paintings of Helga Tesdorf, the artist was Andrew Newell Wyeth. And the location on the Isla Nublar was Jurassic Park. We needed the specifics there. For 51 years, Robert C. Byrd was a senator from West Virginia. And at the end of our first round, Pentwater off to a 22-0 lead over Brethren. Now, before we start our next round, let's learn a little bit more about our students competing today. As first up, we say hello to the students from Brethren.
Hi, my name's Jerry. I'm a senior at Brethren High School, and I play football, and I throw disc and track.
Hello, my name is Waylon Hicks. I'm a senior at Brethren. I love track and field, and I occasionally play football.
Hi, my name's Natalie. I'm a senior at Brethren High School. I'm a member of the basketball team, and I am in NHS.
Hi, I'm Madeline Aubin. I'm a senior at Brethren High School, and I'm in NHS and book club.
Thank you, Brethren. It's good to have you here. Now, let's take a moment to meet our team from Pentwater.
Hello, my name is Maggie Jorson. I am a junior at Pentwater Schools, and I am the president of the Student Council.
Hi, my name's Lauren Davis. I am a senior at Pentwater High School, and I play volleyball, and I am in NHS.
Hi, I'm Ben. I go to Pentwater High School and I play basketball.
Hi, I'm Jane Howard. I'm a senior at Pentwater High School and I do art and band.
And a big thanks to all of our students competing today. The next round here on Quiz Central is the kickoff round, and this round includes a combination of toss-up and bonus questions. The team that correctly answers the toss-up will get the opportunity to answer a single bonus question. There's no stealing on those bonuses. After a bonus question, we'll go back to a toss-up for both teams. Players will receive a 1-second penalty if they ring in before a toss-up question has been read completely. Players and buzzers ready? Here comes your first question. What king survived the Fronde rebellions as a youth, issued the Edict of Fontainebleau against Huguenots, and commissioned the Palace of Versailles? That one?
Italy?
That's incorrect. Brethren with a guess? All right, next question. What discrete mathematical structures consist of vertices and edges and can be used to represent connections such as social networks?
Triangle?
Incorrect there. Pentwater, take a shot. Next toss-up for both. What type of creature, which is depicted on a monument to independence in Mexico City, also names a baseball team starring Mike Trout in L.A.?
The Angels.
Correct there for Pentwater. And the bonus question, what four-word term names a 1987 Tom Wolfe novel and a 1497 event in Florence led by Savonarola, in which immoral items were burned? No guess? No. All right. Back to a toss-up for both. What technology whose development earned Charles K. Gao a Nobel Prize transmits data as light pulses through thin, flexible strands of glass?
Is it pixels?
Pixels is incorrect. Brethren with a shot?
TV.
Also incorrect. A toss-up for both teams. What character in Geoffrey Chaucer's Canterbury Tales discusses her 5 marriages and tells a story about a knight who learns what women most desire? Another toss-up for both. What act upheld in the Heart of Atlanta motel case effectively abolished Jim Crow in 1964 by outlawing official discrimination based on race? Pentwater.
Civil Rights Act.
That is correct. Now to the bonus. Lieutenant William Calley was the only man jailed for perpetrating what 1968 massacre in which U.S. troops slaughtered up to 500 Vietnamese civilians? Nothing? Okay. Back to the toss-up for both. What series in which an escape from Hilltop Farm is aided by the goose Brightbill was written by Peter Brown about Roz, the title Mechanical Bean? Go on to the next. What type of treatment that can include cisplatin can be paired with radiation in a treatment plan prescribed by an oncologist?
Chemotherapy?
Correct for Pentwater there. The bonus. What African country whose largest ethnic group is the Kikuyu contains a shield of the Maasai people in its flag and has as its capital at Nairobi?
Ethiopia.
Incorrect there. And the end of the round. Let's go back over the ones that stumped everyone today. The king who survived the Fronde rebellions was Louis XIV. The mathematical structures consisting of vertices and edges, we are looking for graphs. The four-word term in the 1987 Tom Wolfe novel, Bonfire of the Vanities. The technology whose development earned the Nobel Prize for Gao is fiber optics. The character in Chaucer's Canterbury Tales, we are looking for the wife of Bath, or Allison. And Lieutenant William Kelly, the only man jailed for the My Lai massacre. The series in which Escape from Hilltop Farm is aided, The Wild Robot. And the African country whose largest ethnic group, and we are looking for Kenya. And at the end of round 2, Pentwater with a 50-point lead over Brethren. And our next round today is the Perfect 10. And in the Perfect 10, you'll have 60 seconds to answer questions from a choice of clues to 3 categories. The opposing team will then have 30 seconds to answer any unasked, incorrect, or skipped questions. You can consult throughout this round, and we'll take answers from the captain. The team that's trailing gets the first choice to pick a clue to a category. Brethren currently trailing in our game, so you get your first choice of one of these 3 categories: seeing double, the old college try, or fighting words. Again, it's seeing double, the old college try, or fighting words.
I say seeing double.
Seeing double or fighting words?
Seeing double, please.
Seeing double is your choice, and the clue, double Z. Give these words that contain 2 consecutive Z's. You have 60 seconds to start off your Perfect 10, and we get it started with this. Violent snowstorm.
Blizzard.
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 Carbonation as in a soft drink.
Oh. Fizzy.
Oh,
Fizz.
Fizz.
Food grinding digestive chamber in birds.
Gizzard.
Italian word for middle used in sheet music.
Pass.
Opportunistic raptor in genus Buteo.
Pass.
To rub one's nose on someone to show affection.
Nuzzle.
An invasive photographer of celebrities.
Paparazzi.
A town square in Italy.
Plaza.
Slang term for a spoil sport. No answer there at the bell. Okay, Pentwater, we come over to you. You have the 30 seconds, as you know then, to try to steal as many of those that were answered incorrectly or those remaining in our category. So with your 30-second portion of this Perfect 10 round, the category is seeing double. Double Z. Give these words that contain 2 consecutive Z's. And your part of the Perfect 10 begins now. Italian word for middle used in sheet music.
What?
Mezzo.
Mezzo.
Opportunistic raptor in genus Buteo.
Pass.
A town square in Italy.
We have 3 minutes, so. Oh.
And we get to the end of that round, and let's check the ones that stumped both of our schools here today. The opportunistic raptor was a buzzard. The town square in Italy, we had a guess of plaza, but we were actually looking for piazza, to be specific. The slang term for a spoil sport is buzzkill. And that brings us to the end of that portion of the Perfect 10. Pentwater, it is your chance now with 60 seconds. And now you have your choice of one of these 2 remaining categories, the old college try or fighting words.
The old college try.
I think we got it.
The old college try.
The old college try is a choice. Here's your clue, team mascots. Name the public schools that have these college football mascots. Again, team mascots, the public schools that have these college football mascots. And your part of the Perfect 10 begins with this. Albert and Alberta Gator.
Florida Gators.
Boomer and Sooner, which are white ponies.
Oklahoma.
Brutus Buckeye.
Ohio State.
Jonathan the 15th, a live husky.
Yukon.
Osceola and his horse Renegade.
Pass.
Benny Beaver for a school in Corvallis.
Pass.
Big Al, an elephant.
Alabama.
Bevo, a steer.
Texas.
The Ramblin' Wreck, which is a car. Time there at the bell. Okay, brethren, we'll come over to you with a chance now to pick up on those that were missed and those that we didn't get to. The old college try, again the category, the clue team mascots. Name the public schools that have these college football mascots. Your half of this Perfect 10 category begins now. Osceola and his horse Renegade.
Pass.
Pass.
Benny Beaver for a school in Corvallis.
Dude, I don't know any of these.
Hello, only hope.
Heard pass.
The Ramblin' Wreck, which is a car.
Texas A&M? No, it doesn't.
Gordy, who is a gopher. And can't take a guess there in that last one. Let's go back over those that were missed by both in this round. Osceola and his horse Renegade, they come out in the pregame for Florida State University. Benny Beaver, the school in Corvallis, is Oregon State. The Ramblin' Wreck, which is a guitar, it's the car, rather. The Ramblin' Wreck of Georgia Tech. Goldie, who is a gopher, that would have been the University of Minnesota. Pentwater will take a 120-50 lead into our fourth round, and that's the home stretch. In the home stretch, I'll ask a combination of toss-up and bonus questions once again. The team that correctly answers the toss-up will get the opportunity to answer a single bonus question. No stealing on those bonuses. After a bonus question, we'll go back to a toss-up for both teams. Players do receive that 1-second penalty if they ring in before the toss-up question has been read completely. Players and buzzers at the ready. Here comes your first question. In eukaryotes, which structures consist of 40S and 60S subunits are found on rough endoplasmatic tylum and are the sites of protein synthesis? Next toss-up for both. From 1969 to 1974, Robert Reed and Florence Henderson played the parents of the title family on what sitcom? Next question, what emperor began fighting the Marcomannic Wars and who co-ruled with Lucius Versus, was the last of the 5 good emperors and was a Stoic philosopher? Water?
Sun Tzu.
Incorrect there. Do we have a guess from brethren? Back to a toss-up for both. The third opera in Richard Wagner's Ring Cycle is named for what hero who slays the dragon Fafnir?
Thor.
Incorrect there. Brethren, with a shot at that?
Beowulf.
Also incorrect. A toss-up for both teams. What queen, whose bed is made from an olive tree, is the mother of Telemachus and waits 2 decades on Ithaca for the return of her husband Odysseus?
Penelope.
That is correct for brethren. And a bonus question. What leader of Indonesia, whose rule was known as the New Order, led the 1967 overthrow of Sukarno?
No answer.
Back to a toss-up then for both teams. What landforms transport chunks of rocks via plucking, are bordered by moraines, and carve U-shaped valleys due to being massive rivers of ice?
Glaciers.
Glaciers is correct. Bonus question now. In what process with the namesake energy does an atom or molecule gain or lose electrons, gaining a net charge?
An ion.
Correct on the bonus as well. Toss up for both teams. What character who visits his history teacher, Mr. Spencer, after leaving Pensy Prep is the protagonist of J.D. Salinger's The Catcher in the Rye? Another toss-up for both teams. What surname is shared by painter Dante Gabriel and his sister Christina, who wrote the lyrics to In the Bleak Midwinter and the poem Goblin Market? Next toss-up for both. What New Yorker, whose namesake treaty resolved post-revolutionary disputes with Britain in 1794, was the first Chief Justice of the Supreme Court? And this toss-up, the Fifth Amendment's Takings Clause allows what practice in which the government can seize private property in exchange for just compensation? Another toss-up for both. What Greek letter, whose lowercase form denotes standard deviation, while its uppercase represents summation, was a precursor of the Latin letter S? Pentwater.
Sigma.
That's correct. Bonus question for you now. What Spanish painter depicted a scene from the Peninsular War in the 3rd of May, 1808? Answer?
Salvador Dali.
Incorrect there. Toss up, and we come to the end of that round. Let's review those that were missed in that round. The Emperor fighting in the Macromantic Wars. We were looking for Marcus Aurelius was the leader. The leader of the character who visits the history teacher, Mr. Spencer, on Catcher in the Rye, Holden Caulfield. The surname shared by a painter, Dante Gabriel, and his sister Christina, Rossetti, or we could have accepted Rossetti's, Dante Gabriel Rossetti. The New Yorker whose namesake treaty resolved the disputes. We were looking for John Jay, the first Chief Justice of the court. The Fifth Amendment's Takings Clause and the government's just compensation, eminent domain. The Spanish painter who depicted a scene from the Peninsular War in the 3rd of May, Francisco Goya was the artist we were looking for there. Pentwater holds a 150-60 lead as we enter our final round of the game today. It's the final countdown, and in this round, players will have 2 minutes to answer as many toss-up questions as they can. If a team answers incorrectly, the opposing school has the opportunity to answer that question. Teams may not consult during this round. And remember, players do receive the 1-second penalty if they ring in before the toss-up question has been read completely. We'll indicate that with an orange light right above their name. Ready, players? Here comes your first question. An animated show subtitled Edge Runners adapted what 2020 action RPG set in Night City, which centers on a mercenary known as V?
Cyberpunk.
Correct there. Toss up for both. Again, in what state did students at its A&T State University launch the sit-in movement in 1960 by protesting at a Woolworth's lunch counter in Greensboro?
Oklahoma.
Incorrect there. Toss up for both. Sorry. Chance for Pentwater for the steal.
Georgia.
Also incorrect. Now the toss-up for both. Buenos Aires and Montevideo are on the shores of what estuary, which is formed by the confluence of Uruguay and Paraná rivers?
Argentina.
That is incorrect. Brethren with a guess?
Bolivia.
Also incorrect. Toss-up for both. What active NFL player who has the most career playoff receptions co-hosts a podcast with his brother Jason and is currently dating Taylor Swift?
Travis Kelce.
That is correct. Toss-up for both. What vitamin whose active form is known as calciferol is required to prevent rickets because calcium absorption depends on it?
Calcium. Oh, no.
Incorrect. Brethren with a guess?
Potassium.
Incorrect there too. Toss-up on both sides. What planet contains the Discovery Rupees Cliff and the Caloris Basin, was explored by the Messenger mission, and is the closest planet to the Sun? Pentwater?
Mars.
Mars is incorrect. Brethren with a shot? End of the round. We can't take an answer there. Let's go back over those that were missed in that final round. The planet containing the Discovery Rupes Cliff, Mercury was the planet closest to the Sun. The state and the students at the AT&T State University, North Carolina, AT&T is where the protest started. Buenos Aires and the Montevideo, we were looking for the Rio de Plata. The vitamin whose active form, we are looking for vitamin D. And that closes out those questions and closes out our game today. The final, Pentwater 150 to Brethren 80. And let's have a round of applause for both of our teams today. Thanks very much, Brethren, for playing and competing with us today. Nice job. Congratulations to you, Pentwater. You will be back for a future round on Quiz Central. We hope all of you will be as well as we continue to play in this, our season 21. I'm David Nicholas. For all of us here at Quiz Central, thanks and have a great night.